The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for joining us. Local government elections are over. The final count is being tallied, and those elected are getting ready to serve their communities. From all accounts, it was a competitive election in the Grand Bahama. Tonight, we will hear who were elected to serve at the Freeport City level. Natalie Martin-Burrow has the details.
A newly elected 9-member team will serve the City of Freeport Council. Those elected include a mixture of newcomers and veterans, including 2 siblings, Shavita and McMahon Campbell, elected in 2 separate constituencies. Marco City was billed as the constituency to watch, with 8 candidates battling for 3 seats on the council. Incumbent Shavita Campbell was the top finisher in Marco City, polling some 626 votes, followed by incumbent Kevin Ferguson with 433 votes, and a newcomer Omise Lockhart Lightpond secured the 3rd seat in Marco City with 397 votes. In Pine Ridge, the team of Clifton Francis and Melvina Albury secured the majority of the votes. Francis, a newcomer, tallying some 374 votes. Albury, his running mate, came in second with 358 votes. This will be Albury's 4th term in local government. In East Grand Bahama constituency, voters elected 2 youthful newcomers to local government. McMahon Campbell polling some 277 votes. Devar Smith was not far behind with 274. They will represent East Grand Bahama on the council. In Central Grand Bahama, 2 newcomers were elected as well. Marco Carey polling a total of 433 votes. Fraser Gibson secured 407 votes. The 9-member team will be sworn in on Wednesday morning. Following the swearing-in ceremony, the Chief and Deputy Chief Councillors for the City of Freeport Council will be elected. Natalie Martin-Burrow, ZNS Network News.
Tonight, the administrator for the City of Freeport is giving an overview of yesterday's local government election process. Sabrina Brown reports.
Administrator Alexander Williams says the lack of interest in local government elections in Freeport has been a trend in recent years.
The more affluent areas seem not to involve themselves as those other areas. And so in Freeport, last election, the City of Freeport, the voter turnout was under 20% of the registered voters. And from what I'm seeing now, it could be even less than that this time.
Williams says local government is a vital component in the country's pillars of democracy. He says it is a vehicle for decentralization, which results in better governance.
Local government is that particular form of governance that is very close to the people, very sensitive to the people, and very responsive to the needs of the people. And so it is very, very, very important that we maintain and nurture local government and develop the interest in it.
Monday's elections brought 6 newcomers to the Freeport City Council, among them some youthful faces. The administrator says this is encouraging, but he warns that local government is not about personal agendas, but rather the business of the people.
It's all about service to country and service to our people and our communities. How do we develop our communities? How do we develop programs, holistic programs for our young people? How do we assist in the age-old problem of crime? How do we assist with unemployment? How do we motivate people to become entrepreneurs and to provide local economic activities in our communities?
Now, Administrator Williams says the councillors will be sworn in Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock in the conference room of the National Insurance Board next to the administrator's office.
After the swearing in of the councillors, then the councillors will meet to select among themselves a chief and deputy chief. After that is done, those 2 persons will again be sworn. They will take the oath of allegiance, and I will then take them over to the council's office to introduce them to their clerical and administrative staff and to give them a brief as to what lay ahead of of them and the way forward, what is expected of them.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Now to the unofficial results from the West Grand Bahama District. Willis Roll and Perry Charlton were elected in polling division 12. Normel Smith and Andrea Hepburn were elected in polling division 13. Rosny Cooper was elected in polling division 14. Alfred Williams was elected in Bartlett Hill in West Grand Bahama, polling division number 1. Philip Smith, Marva Hanna, and Martin Wilshcombe will represent that area. In polling division number 2, the unofficial winners are Mark Green and Constance Hanna. In polling division number 3, Marvin McQueen, Corey Adderley, Jeff Aubrey, and Keith Taro Young Monroe were elected to serve. In polling division number 6, George Jimmy Smith and Jaron Harvey were the top finishers. In polling division 7, Rudolph Roll and Samuel Scott were elected. Election held in 2 areas on East Grand Bahama District yesterday. 99 voters were able to cast ballots in Sweetings Key. That's where voters elected Eleanor Tate, Floyd Feaster, Alexander Russell, Calvin Mitchell, and Shervin Tate to represent that town area. Wilton Thomas, Daniel Bain, and Joseph Thomas were elected in the Pelican Point, McLean's town area. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The tourism industry on the northern island of Bimini is said to be rebounding with unprecedented growth and development. Now, one of that island's veteran hoteliers who has been a part of this renaissance is moving on. RJ Joan Davis Rule had a candid interview with this top hotel executive on the eve of his departure.
He is no stranger to the hotel industry, having been introduced to that sector at the tender age of 14.
I grew up in the industry. My father was a Swiss hotelier, so I grew up being mentored by my father, and started in every position from a bellman, working housekeeping, valet, parking cars, in the kitchen cleaning dishes, and all the way up the ranks to the general manager.
As the island of Bimini transitions from a sleepy fishing village to a world-class destination, one of that island's leading hotelier is in a state of transition as well. In an exclusive interview with ZNS News, General Manager of the Bimini Big Game Resort, Michael Weber, says he's excited about turning another chapter in his professional career. The former general manager of the Grand Bahama Al Lukai Resort says big game, which has been a key part of the island's tourism landscape since the 1930s, has taken off.
We're 3 years here in Bimini, and we've done a lot for the island and the resort itself, and we've had a good time, and it's always a beautiful place and beautiful waters and dolphins and sharks and lots of stuff to do, so it's always a good time in Bimini. Well, I think with us growing the occupancy for the resort, it needed some help when I first got here, and we've been able to raise the occupancy to a good and stable level. That, and of course our Bimini Bull Run, the shark cage encounter, that's been great too.
He reflected on the strides made at the property, a resort which is known around the world.
Right now we're at about 22% up year to date versus last year. So, you know, for a little island like Bimini that's limited with its seats coming into the island, very weather related, that's a pretty good achievement, and my wife has been very involved in that, I should say. So she's the director of sales, and she's been very much raising the occupancy for the resort by doing the trade shows, doing the fishing tournaments, even stateside ones. So it's continually busy.
While the island of Bimini boasts of significant growth and development, Weber says one sector could do better.
The lift for the island is it's not much. You know, we've got 1 or 2 flights a day, and that's not 7 days a week. That's only 3 to 4 days a week. So it would be nice if we would be able to get more flights to come in here. We could promote it that much, because there's some days where you just can't get to Bimini, whether you like it or not. There's no flights, there's no cruise ship. Unless you have your own boat, you're not going to make it to Bimini. So that's a difficult part.
Weber, who has been at the helm of the property for more than 3 years, has overseen millions of dollars in renovations at the 51-room property. During his tenure, he has attracted mega groups, high-end tournaments, and has been a committed corporate sponsor and gracious host of ZNS Network News, the Northern Edition's live remotes from that Alistown property. Now Weber is moving on and is expressing mixed emotions as he departs.
I'm heading back to the States, to Key West. So I guess I'm sort of following in the footsteps of Hemingway, going from Key West to Bimini and so forth. So I'll be running a property in Key West that's a great property in itself. It's a 160-room resort right on the Duval Street, so it's going to be in the heart of everything. So, and really excited about that.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
An early morning fire in a Freeport community has destroyed a single-story house. Police Inspector Kenrick Morris of the Grand Bahama Fire Services says the fire erupted shortly before 1:30 this morning in the area of Spinney Road off East Sunrise Highway.
The fire department responded with 2 fire appliances and 4 officers, where they met a 12-room single-story stone structure engulfed with flames. The fire was quickly extinguished, however, the same was left extensively damaged by fire. At this stage, I cannot comment on the cause at this time because inquiries are still ongoing.
It is understood that at the time of the fire, the power supply to the house had been disconnected. Inspector Morris is advising the public to exercise caution, particularly this summer season.
We've exercised extreme caution when leaving the homes, ensure that the necessary appliances are properly turned off, and that's basically it. Of course, you know it's an offense to light fires in the yard, and be careful when doing that because the home you save may be your own.
And this is the bushfire seasons. Have you been challenged in that area?
At this time, not yet. As you can see, we have 2 new fire appliances. We have no present challenges at this time.
Police on Grand Bahama investigating 2 armed robbery incidents that took place on Monday afternoon. Reports say the first incident occurred around 3:20 in the afternoon when 2 men entered a business establishment on East Pioneers Way and robbed them of an undetermined amount of money. One of the men was reportedly armed with a handgun. He was described as being 5 feet 11 inches tall, of dark complexion, slim build, 150 pounds. He was wearing a baseball cap, and the other suspect was described as being 5 feet 6 inches tall, of dark complexion, medium build, with a low haircut. Police say the second incident occurred shortly after 5 p.m. on Pioneers Way when 2 men entered a business establishment and robbed them of an undetermined amount of cash. One of the men was reportedly armed with a handgun and was said to be wearing a gray singlet. He was described as having braided hair, 5 feet 7 inches, slim build, and light brown complexion. The other culprit was said to be wearing a black t-shirt with the Nike logo, "Just Do It." Medium build, 5 feet 8 inches tall, and dark complexion. Police are appealing to anyone with information that can assist with these matters to contact Central Detective Unit at telephone numbers 350-3107 or 8-911-919 or contact your nearest police station. The man accused of making threats against immigration officers on Grand Bahama has been denied bail by the Court of Appeal. ZNS News has learned that Gambia Drive resident Michael Stapleton, aka Michael Miller, appeared before the Court of Appeal last week for a bail application, but he was unsuccessful and he remains in custody at Fox Hill Prison. Stapleton was arraigned before Magistrate Debbie Ferguson on May 1st on 6 counts of threats by writing. He pled not guilty to the charges. It is alleged that Stapleton left a threatening handwritten note on the window of a Bahamas immigration vehicle warning officers to stay off his property. The alleged note was found after officers reported to work. He is slated to return to court on Grand Bahama on September 8th. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn's up next with sports.
Hey everybody, it's Sports. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. This one goes out to none other than Elsie White down there and James Siston in Luthra for you tonight. The Grand Bahama Youth Games, folks, officially underway in Olympic style. Megan Shepard, they refer to her as the Youth Ambassador, has got this one covered.
Athletes, coordinators, and executives of the Bahamas Olympic Committee coming together Monday night to kick off an exciting week of competition on the island. The first ever Grand Bahama Youth Olympic Games underway with their torch run and flame lighting ceremony held in true Olympic fashion. The young ambassador leading the torch as participating athletes each got an opportunity to carry the torch to its landmark at the Ranfurly Circus. Vice President of the BOC, Aram Lewis, says he's excited about the week ahead.
We have started off with a bang. We're very happy to have all of the young athletes out today. We have our number one tennis player in the country here, Edmund Rockham, with the entire boys baseball team. We had quite a number of dignitaries in the house. We had other area athletes that showed up. And of course, our youth ambassador was also there. She started off our torch run. And it was an exciting run from C.A. Smith's building down to the Ranfurly Circus, where we lit the torch by our patron. And I can feel the fire started to burn. Excitement is in the air. We invite the entire community of Grand Bahama, please come out. These are your games. It's about your children. It's about the potential being released in them.
Secretary General Rommel Knowles on island for the historic occasion. He says it was a long time in the making and is happy to see the games come to fruition as Grand Bahama holds a special significance to the committee.
These games will become the urban games. Why urban? Because with all the challenges, and Grand Bahama don't have the challenges we have in New Providence, but we want to make sure Grand Bahama never experience what we experience in New Providence by having wholesome activities for our young kids. There's a lot of lip service and talk about our young people, but today I'm here to really give them support because these games are all about them.
The game's patron, Churchill Tenor Knowles, is doing the honors of lighting the flame, which will burn for the entire week. He says it is an honor to have been selected, but is even more excited for the opportunities the games will present for the athletes.
We are pleased in Grand Bahama that the BOA has been seen it fit to start the very first youth games here in Grand Bahama. And I think we are very deserving of them because we have quite a few young athletes here in Grand Bahama. And as you know, a number of persons who've won medals for the Bahamas are here from Grand Bahama. So I would think that we are very deserving of the very first youth games sponsored by the Bahamas Olympic Association.
Basketball and tennis will kick off the first set of games to be played. Megan Shepard, ZNS, Total Sports.
I still can't get over Megan running. There's something wrong with that picture. The 4th annual West End Snapper Tournament and Festival, folks, was held on Saturday. This was a pretty good one. The 4th annual West End Snapper Tournament attracted anglers with the intent of winning. The Royal Bahamas Police Force Marine Division ensuring safety on the water. On the Bayshore Road, the same applied, safety in West End. Lots and lots of snappers caught this year. Team Old Bahama Bay simply caught a lot of snappers. A good day, says Kenneth Christie.
We had a great time. It was difficult getting out there. It was pretty rough. We went about 35 miles. We went to 2 drops, and the second drop was the best. The last 3 hours was when we caught most of our fish.
Team OBB getting the thumbs up and in the money with 338 pounds. The Tees are simply good in this one. They had some pretty good numbers, 231. Passing win also came in this year, says Craig Grant, looking to win it all.
A little rough, and they're smooth enough. I feel we fish our best today, but we see what happens.
Passing win total 372 pounds, and how about this jack, the largest fish that weighed in at 37 pounds in first place overall. David Bell fished the snapper tournament and respectable 176 pounds. The weighmaster James Goon Culmer said it was a good event despite a number of events that was held on Saturday.
So many things going on the island today. I got about 4 major events, but we got the old 10 crowd, got the big dad, Old Bahama Bay Teasers, a bunch of local boats. And we're happy. I mean, we moved it to Coffee in the Bay. The setup is great. I think we're going to have a much better time this time.
Lots of onlookers in West End taking those memorable snapshots with the numbers being added up. The real family event for visitors to West End. The Ministry of Tourism participated and spent the day feeding fish. 86-pound snappers was caught by the MOT team. 7 staff members on board. I call them the party boat. 7 of them catch 80 pounds of fish from Ministry of Tourism. For shame. Well, does the name Shalonda Neely ring a bell to you? Well, come on, Jaguars, you know this one. It should, because she played basketball, and she's now playing basketball at Arlington County Day School in Jacksonville, Florida. Well, you see, she's actually a St. George's player. She's 6'1" tall. She wears a size 13 men's basketball shoes. She is committed to attend Jacksonville University upon her graduation.
School league, it was just in the area, and other schools I was playing against, I was from Jacksonville. With AAU, we travel all over the states. I done been North Carolina, Atlanta, a couple different parts of Georgia. Been traveling a lot. That's the difference with AAU.
Now you're getting ready to go back. Tell me, what are you going to do when you get back?
Well, I'm going back because I have some team camps and other tournaments. That's why I'm going back so early.
Okay, how many camps are you going to play?
So far, there's only one that I'm sure about, but I know I have a week tournament, a Nike tournament that I have to go back to play for in July.
And this young lady can play basketball. She's already in 2 different camps and hopefully our junior national team as well. Well, the Grand Bahama Baseball Stadium was renamed the AmeriCaribbean Baseball Park this Friday past. This is a gift, folks, to the Bahamian people.
The opening of the Bahamas Baseball Federation Nationals was star-studded, with the sluggers from coach pitch to college in quest of those gold medals. Invited guests were also at awe at the new and improved baseball facility. Ian Roll, president of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, said the investment in the young people today is keen benefits for what we will reap in the future.
Every investment of time, effort, and resources which are committed to building the youth of our country is an investment in our nation's future. Therefore, we must be mindful of this fact and continue to support initiatives such as this. Ladies and gentlemen, as with past championship games, the economic benefits to the island are welcome and cannot be understated. Whether by support of local vendors and eateries, or through the booking of accommodations, rental vehicles, and otherwise. This economic activity is important, and by supporting these types of events, we each play a small part in building the local economy.
Sarah McDonald, CEO of the Grand Bahama Power Company, said the support of the youth of the nation is important, and Amera believes in youth development.
Supporting communities, particularly where we can impact youth, wellness, learning, and development, is a core belief at Amera and at Grand Bahama Power. Amera has helped build or revitalize facilities such as this in many locations where we do business. In Halifax, Nova Scotia, where Amera is headquartered, we have the Amera Oval, which provides a terrific public facility for free ice skating in the winter. Not something we decided to try here, but it does have rollerblading in the summer. Residents of Bangor, Maine in the northeast U.S. are learning about space science and energy efficiency from the Amera Astronomy Center. And closer to home, we were working on an investment in Barbados, which will bring much needed new lighting to one of their most prized athletic facilities.
To officially open the AmeriCaribbean Ballpark, Sarah went to the fastball. An investment in the young people of the Bahamas, says GB Power's ace.
That was a great tournament, and those who missed it, next year. Don't forget Caribbean coming up in about 2 weeks, okay? That's it for sports tonight.